Alright, so we got 3 used ones, and we got 4 new ones. We can have 1 new one and 3 used ones. We can do 2 and 2. We just put 4 new ones in. Alright, for some reason your pistons are worn more on the non-thrust side than the thrust side. Unless they had these in backwards.
Hopefully not.
That's what the wear pattern looks like. See how this is a lot lighter than this one?
Mm-hmm.
Usually the thrust side is the one that gets worn more, which is your back one.
Right.
When the piston fires, the rod goes like this, and it puts more load on the back than the front. When you do a heavy downshift, it reverses and puts more load on the front. So you got to decide you want the clips to be on the left or the right side. So you just kind of push them in like this. Try not to get your eyeballs in the way. See what's in there? The 2 titties.
Seemed easy.
Let's come up on the other side a little bit. It's in. And rotate it, make sure it's free. See how it moved? Last thing is you take the wrist pin, it should be a nice, good, solid metallic sound like that. Means it's in all the way. Pretty hard, huh?
Yeah.
Never twist them or bend them. Just push them in. I don't want it too far, so bring it back up. This one's not in now. Here we go, pop.
Beautiful.
Rotate it.
Like butter.
Nice and solid. And you heard the first hit was kind of a dull hit.
Mm-hmm.
It centered itself, and after that it was in all the way. So the other way, when you put the whole motor together, you can't see that, so you got to make sure you look in there and make sure it's all the way in there like it should be. Okay, where's our bag? Yeah. Here's a genuine Eastern part. So there's your new ones. Don't lose those. And of course, the new bag we put the used ones in.
I got good resale value.
That's right. Usually I mark stuff used, so I know it.
Mm-hmm.
They look good though. So these look pretty good after we cleaned them up. The dull area is the low spots. Shiny area is the high spot. So a little more wear on the other side.
Mm-hmm.
Probably when it's more out of round too. Oh yeah, a big low spot there.
Yep.
So that's when it's more screwed up. Of course, this one's got a massive low spot too, but if you notice how the low spot is, it's pretty straight all the way until it gets to the gasket surface, and this whole thing here is bent out.
Right.
Because that's right where the support goes away, and when the cylinder warps, it obviously shoved it that way. And pinched it over here further. Pinched out around this way because it's got loose side to side.
Mm-hmm.
Should be low spots. So when these things expand in the motor, they move all over the place. Sometimes they're nice and round, other times they're out of round. You check the ring gap here. Should be loose. See the ring gap?
Yep. Pretty small.
I thought that was big.
Oh, never.
I'm lazy with oil rings, so I do them 2 at a time. Just make sure you put them in there equally though.
Oh, that's tight.
That one's a little tighter.
Can't even see it.
Yeah, these are He's at 0 clearance.
It's always fun.
These rings are not standard. Yeah.
It's the bag mark used. Just kidding.
See, this one had a big gap in it.
Right.
See the gap?
Yep.
Those are standard. Those two?
Not standard.
They're probably 5 over. They're not standard.
Yep.
Well, you check stuff. And these are used cylinders, which are looser than normal.
Right.
Second ring is all cast iron, no moly in it. Big time.
Tight.
Big time, not standard. Standard.
Wow.
See the gap?
Yep.
A little snug, but it's there. 5 over. So did you mix this setup on me?
Yeah.
So here's Molly. See all the Molly?
Yeah.
Cast.
Shinier.
Yeah. This one's obviously not going to work.
This isn't good.
This one's good. You can take a piston and put it in a square if you need to.
Mixed matched set.
Yep. A little snug, but in there. Yeah. Wonderful.
100 years of innovation.
I think that's what they said on the box, wasn't it?
Yeah.
100 years of being screwed up. Well, there's your problem. It's made in USA.
Yep. Haven't heard of that place.
Mine was packaged in Korea.
Love when it says assembled in USA. All the parts come overseas.
Wonderful. So these are 5 over. So, 2 options. Fix it, or put up another set of rings that are correct.
How do we fix it?
File them.
That's what I was thinking.
So you got to see how much overlap is on the ring.
Right.
Determine if it's 5 over or 10 over ring. So your length multiplies by pi. So if you have a 10 thou gap, or you want 10 thou gap, you got to cut 3 times that off the length to get the gap. So these ones are gapped a little tight, but okay. So if I'm going to file these to fit, I have to file them. I have to file a lot of material off them, but not too bad. The ring is still going to be, you want to make sure the ring has no light around it.
Right.
So you hold up the light up there with your light off. Look at the camera, I have to look up here. Without the light on, you have to look. And if there's no air, no
Right.
light around the outside of the ring, you can file the ring, it'll be fine.
Mm-hmm.
If you have the ring is buckled so far that it's squeezed so much that it's not round anymore, then you can't use the ring. So do you want me to file these right now so you can get all this together, or do you want to wait a week for getting new rings?
If we could file them.
Oh, you want to be the quick method, huh?
I feel like that's a...
Always like having high dollar parts that don't work. That's why you gotta have high dollar tools.
Oh, nice.
To fix the high dollar parts that aren't really good. Okay, you go over there because you're in between me and my parts. Okay, how much you want off?
Your ass could be.
I'm thinking quite a bit.
Yeah. A little better. See the light through.
We're still at 0.
All right.
So we haven't got to 0 yet. We're close. Cutting a lot off too. Try to keep the grit out of the cylinder. Ooh, look at that now.
Nice.
Oh, I got a lot in there now. Perfect. Nice and loose. That one's good. Now these were just a little tight.
Wow.
Nice and loose now. This is 15 or 16 pounds.
I was about to ask, yeah.
So we're putting it around 18 to 20 or give or take a little, I don't give a shit. Better to be loose than tight on these things. Tight doesn't work at all, loose well.
Right.
There it goes. Nice and loose. And the second ring should always be a little bit loose from the top ring.
I feel like I should have ordered those new rings.
Yeah.
That's a big ordeal to fix.
Looks like about the same gap on both. Okay. This one's a little bit too tight. How tight was it?
Too tight.
About that much? More than that. We're almost to zero.
Yeah.
A lot of cut. A little snug.
Mm-hmm.
It's trying to go in there.
It's a quick little
Another
zip.
5 thou or so more at least. Be good. Probably more than that. Nope, that's good. Oil rings you rarely have to cut.
Mm-hmm.
Rarely. Except in your case.
It's my luck.
They charge a lot more money for rings than they used to too.
Why is that?
Because it takes a lot of extra work to mix them all up.
Takes man hours to fuck people over.
Right. Probably should check that first. This goes quick because I just got done doing a bunch of rings.
Mm-hmm. You've been practicing.
Of course, that was before I got sick, so I may take a little off right now. Looks good. Clearance. You got clearance, Clarence. You know, we got to deburr the ring. You were good burpers. Ring deburr. There's burrs right there, feel it?
So we don't just destroy the cylinders? Oh, yeah. I was going to ask about that.
I don't care about the cylinder, I care about the piston.
Right, right.
You can hear it as it whips off, cleans it
Mhm.
off. See, takes the burr off, now you feel it. Smooth on the surface.
Oh, yeah.
You care about the ring groove being nice and snug in here and seal against that.
Right.
Any burrs here will come right off when the cylinder goes up and down a few times.
Won't damage them?
Now what they tell you to do is you take a chamfer and you file them like that a little bit. Well, if you put a 5 thou chamfer on there, you increase your ring gap by 10 thousandths.
Right.
Why would you do that?
Stupid. Probably the same people that mix and match these parts.
Yep. Probably the same group, yeah.
What kind of damage can that cause if somebody didn't measure that?
Be very hard to put together. See the dot now? You can see the highlighted dot.
Yep.
Dot goes up. Second ring. See, there's no color to it.
Mm-hmm.
Here's another second ring. See, it's cast iron. And here are those burrs when I first start. It smooths up.
That's a good
It's right there. It's hard to
see
see it, but so that goes up. Here's your top rings. Top ring usually doesn't matter on Hastings. See the little burr?
Mm-hmm.
So we're not trying to take metal off, just the burr.
Right.
You can't feel it, so you can see the residue from it. This side had no burr on it, see, it's clean. This side had a heavy burr right there. This one here is fairly good. These have no markings on it because it doesn't matter which way they go on.
Right.
So we have no burr on this side at all, and barely anything on this side. So someone got a little aggressive on the filing, or they beat the tar with a big hammer. Probably when I put that piston there, I slammed it in too hard.
Right.
Burred it up for you.
Wow.
Or they had a burr from the factory right there. I'm thinking they had a burr from the factory. That's the only one that looks like that.
Couldn't have been you.
Probably wasn't me then. Alright, so there you go. You get all your rings in there. So, see the gap?
Mm-hmm. Did we test this cap? It does not matter.
Still didn't fit.
Mm.
Set's all fucked up. See, they don't fit.
You don't want to force it in?
Oh, there's ones that fit.
Oh.
Okay, so you put the gap over here.
90 degrees for the other one.
The expanders don't wear, so it doesn't hurt. Just change them out. Put this one over here 90 degrees, so its gap is here.
Right.
And my gap's over here, my thumb is at.
These look noticeably wider.
They are. They're 3/16. They're not. They're for a shovel head. Not for an Evo. So either I grabbed the wrong set, or the mismatched, more mismatched shit. So there, see how it fits in there nice and clean?
Mm-hmm.
So the gaps were 90 degrees for the spring and 180 for the other ones.
And there's no problem in reusing these guys?
No.
Okay.
Problem with reusing these, they don't fit. This one here is the correct one. Hastings makes the rings for Harley, so these are Hastings rings. These don't wear, it's just a spring.
Right.
So, makes it easy. So we need a second ring. Titty goes up. So you put this down here in the groove where it belongs. See?
Mm-hmm.
You spread with your thumbs and push your fingers and just wrap it around the piston like that. Make sure it's where it belongs. And when I get to that far, usually I just take my thumb and just fold it over. It just pops down easily. And there's no bend. The rings should be nice and free in here and not bind up. The gaps should be lined up with each other, not twisted. Shouldn't be nice and free spinning. If you have any issues with the binding or not free spinning, there's something wrong. Okay, this ring doesn't matter which way it goes down, on, but this is the good side, this is the crappy side. It never hits on the top, it hits on the bottom is what the seal is, so we'll put the good side to the bottom.
Okay.
You can have big gouges on the top, it makes no difference. It doesn't seal against the top.
Right.
So same thing, you expand it a little bit, you can roll it with your thumb a little bit, drops right in. Nice and free. Good. This one's binding just a little bit here for some reason. Take a slightly tweak this way. There we go. See, now it's not hitting. Okay, now you gotta figure out where your gaps are at. Put the one right here. The other one goes 180 over right there. So we got gaps on all four corners here.
Right.
Not on the thrust face, not on the wrist pin side. So that's ready to go into a cylinder. But you need to clean these cylinders out yet. You need to determine which one's front and rear. Now the pistons you had marked.
Yeah, I don't know about these though.
It doesn't really matter.
These guys, it doesn't matter?
Doesn't matter, we already honed everything.
Okay.
It is what it is.
Right.
We're starting fresh. So do another ring, same thing. Here's the gap over here. Right there's the gap. Get the other ring gap over here. I like to overlap this side so it holds the spring in there. On the fat rings it's not a big problem. On the little narrow ass rings it makes a big difference. They like to overlap. So our gap's right here. So the next gap's going to go 180 over. Lift this up with your thumbnail so it doesn't scratch the surface. Drops in. Top ring.
Titty up.
Guess that's the titty right there. You take a little spit 'em. See it highlights it? It goes up. Same thing, make sure you're in there where it belongs. It goes up and down nice and freely. Now, if you had any burrs in the ring, it wouldn't rotate in the groove. That's why I sanded those a little bit.
Right.
So see how this side looks pretty smooth and flat? This side's pretty good too, but there's a couple of nicks here and there. So this is our better side.
Good side down.
Good side down. So top ring doesn't matter how it goes in. This is a square section ring, it's equal all the way around.
Right.
Free again. So where's our gap at? There it is over there. One gap there. Where the gap goes 180 over. It's nice and free. No binding. Good to go. So get these all cleaned up. Get all the grit and shit out of there. That's your job. Put a little light oil right here, about this much in the cylinder. Just a light coat.
Right.
Make sure that's on the correct side, which is going to be on this side here. Where's our snap ring? This goes on the left side. So you got the snap ring on the right side.
Right.
The snap ring goes on the left side, so the wrist pins will come in from the left side across.
And that arrow points in the
So all you got to do is
forward.
put these rings in there, just squeeze them together and drop them down.
Okay. That was too simple.
It didn't go in either, but it's close. Oh, these were never,
Yeah. Right here. I was going to ask about that.
these were never deeper made right. Got the sharp edge on there. Right now it's not too hard to do it this way, so I just leave it. See, these are 83 cylinders are punched to 1200. So what you're supposed to do is cut this down to about here to get a flat spot. And you come in here and you put a nice chamfer in here so the rings will go nice and easy. They just broke the edge a little bit, left it,
Yeah.
left it pretty sharp.
Sharp.
That's why the rings don't just want to just fall in like they should. Anyway, they're not too hard to do. So anyway, that's a job for you to do. I lube up the wrist pin holes. I take the wrist pin, I stick it through here like that. After I get the rings inside the cylinder. And then you just put this up on the motor and slip the pin like that. Put the clip on it, make sure it's in there. Put a little oil in the skirts and shove it in the cylinder.
Should I put oil in the pin before installing it or
Not
not?
the pin, inside
Okay.
the bores.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And also in the top of the rod.
Right, right.
That way the pin's lube when you stuff it through. You don't have to lube everything.
Mm-hmm.
Lube's lube. Once it's got oil in there, it's got oil. There's only so much room.
Right.
So you don't need to get too... You don't need to make a massive mess if you don't want to. So these are incorrect. And these are used. So, but these are still usable. They didn't have a lot of miles on them. But it's always best to put new rings in a Harley.
Mm-hmm.
So you should mark these used also. Where's those clips at?
Oh yeah. Oh. Which clips? Oh, those two ones. Do I have them?
You should have them. I don't have them.
Fuck.
I put them in here with these. So you don't lose them. Yeah, we'll find your missing clips.
Yeah, somewhere.
We'll put all of these stuff in the used box, and then somebody will put it on eBay and sell it cheap for new.
Right.
That'd be something you'd do probably. All right, that's it for that. So we got a nice good gasket surface here, and shouldn't have any problems now. Should run good. All right.